Well guys, this is the actual equipment that we're going to be using to grind the terrazzo floor. This is an actual piece taken out of the kitchen, and you can see the aggregate goes all the way through the floor. So what we do is start out with a 30 grit metal honing disc. It's very similar to sanding wood.
So because we've got solid material here, so long as we just sand down the good material, we've got ourselves a new floor?
It produces a brand new floor. It's like peeling the skin of an onion.
Right.
So we start out with 30 grit right here, and we're going to go through 10 stages, and we're going to wind up with 3,500 grit, and this is the finest grit that we're going to use.
10 different grits.
Absolutely.
All right, and so this is very aggressive to start?
Absolutely, and we're going to add weight at the beginning, and we're going to take off the weight in stages. So the higher the grits, we're going to take off the weight, so we're going to produce a shinier finish.
All right, I bet you the Venetians wish they had one of these.
Oh, they would have loved it. Okay, what Mike is doing right now, he's wetting the floor down, and we're going to do a wet grinding process. The reason why we like to go with a wet grinding process is it cuts the terrazzo even deeper.
Probably keeps the dust down a little bit too.
Keeps the dust down, and we're going to take off the floor a little bit more aggressively. See how aggressive it is? It's making a grinding sound, and it's taking off those top layers.
How heavy is the machine?
With the weights on, it's 800 pounds. There's a water reservoir on the machine, and Mike, he has a lever that he releases the water as he needs it.
You can actually see there's quite a bit of water on the floor, so that's going to all have to be cleaned up. Could you do this without the water?
We could do it dry also, but it's not as aggressive. We like to wet grind these old floors because we could take off the paste wax and the wax, in my opinion, better. Wet grinding is always better than dry grinding. It's more aggressive. What Mike is doing right now, he's passing over the floor. He's going to go 4 times in an east-west direction, then he's going to go 4 times in a north-south direction, and he's overlapping as he's grinding to keep the floor nice and level. That will ensure that the floor is ground evenly. Well guys, look what we have here. The machine wasn't able to reach to the edge. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to hand grind all these edges with metal honing discs and resin diamonds. And this will produce a nice even edge, and it'll lighten up. We're going to take the stain out in the next step.
You can really tell the difference already.
So we're on to the next grit.
We're on to the next grit.
Wow. After just 2 passes, it looks incredible.
But this is only the 30 and 40 grits. We have 8 more passes to make in this room, but we completed the grinding up to 3,500 grit in the other room. Come on, let me show you. Guys, here we are in the living room. This is after 10 stages of diamond grinding.
I am so impressed at how far this floor has come.
It just keeps getting better.
I'm glad that you're happy, but we're not done. We still have to polish and seal the floor. But I want to show you something. This house had wall-to-wall carpeting, and it was held down by these tack strips.
Right. And so the idea here is that you've actually got these tacks all along that will grab the carpet, but this strip is installed to the floor using these nails every 5 inches or so, and it usually is around the perimeter of the room.
Around the perimeter room, and there was a wall here, so there is now holes. Now, the way these holes were created was the homeowner pulls out the wood, and the nails with it creates a hole. So what we ask that the homeowner just leave these tack strips so we can cut the wood away from the nail, and then we're going to grind the nail flush to the floor so we don't create this hole here.
And when he says homeowner, Jesse, I think he's talking about you, right?
He is. I used a hammer to remove them.
All right, but we can handle these holes, right?
We can repair them.
All right, let's do a patch.
Using a chipping hammer, Junior enlarges the holes to accept the patch. The base of our patch is a polyester stone adhesive. Jeff adds cream hardener to harden the adhesive. Now here's where the artistry comes in. Jeff has marble chips that match the colors of the floor. He adds the correct proportion of marble chips to the adhesive to blend to the background of the floor.
And so why not patch these holes before you grind the floor?
so that we can see what the background actually looks like. First, Jeff uses 40 grit sandpaper and he takes down the patch rather aggressively. Then he goes up to 120 grit and smooths it out some more. Jeff wets the floor with a sponge and he uses resin diamonds to blend the patches to the background of the floor. Well, Jesse, can you find those patches that we made for you?
You're gonna have to give me a few minutes.
I guess that's the point, right? You're not supposed to see them.
Exactly.
Nice job.
Okay,
Yeah.
now we're going to go from here to polishing the floor. And this is the equipment we're going to use. This is a Planetary polishing machine. Notice how the discs turn. The 19-inch plate turns in a circle while the smaller disc, the 8-inch disc, turn in the opposite direction at the same time. Then we come over here and we're going to show you, this is a compound polish. It's acid-based. We apply it to the floor, mix it with water, and we polish away. Now the water is fed from this tank onto the floor and we create a slurry and polish the floor out.
All right.
That's a lot of back and forth with the machine.
Yes, he passes over the floor 20 times in each row.
You can really see that shine coming through now.
Yeah, the acid is literally burning the shine into the terrazzo.
Jesse, you were wondering if you could even save your dingy terrazzo floors, and it looks to me like Frank and his crew have answered your question.
This is beyond saving. This is beyond anything I could have imagined.
Yeah, and the shine's going to last for many years to come.